Susul.
Hey guys, welcome to Under the Plum Bob, that podcast about all things related to the EA Maxis game called The Sims. We avoid the real world by talking about our made up ones. Today, we're going to be talking about the Super Sim Challenge. This is Melly. Hello.
This is Melissa.
And this is Caitlin.
And today, we have a special guest with us. Special guest, introduce yourself.
Hi, this is Kate.
We're so grateful to have you on this episode. We'll get into a little bit why in a moment, but tell us about you. Tell us about your simming style, how long you've been playing.
Sure. So I have been playing since Sims 1, which every time I look up how long that's been out, I don't want to believe I'm old enough for that, but here we are. I have always been a storyteller for the most part. I love to build, I love to play with families, and I enjoy a good challenge, which brings us here.
Absolutely. She's a segue queen already.
Do what I can.
Well, it's a good thing you're here because we are going to talk challenges. One challenge in particular, and in the virtual room here, you're actually the only one of us who has completed this challenge we're about to talk about. So we're here to get advice from you on how to make it through this one. Because I mean, you've got your 100 babies, you've got your legacy. There's not too many challenges that are as long as our super long marathon challenges as the Super Sim challenge.
The original creator was The Sims Supply. Most Sims go about their lives with money and the daily grind consuming much of their time. Many start out with aspirations, but few achieve them in the end. Fucking relatable. The creator, who has watched this happen for countless generations, decided it was finally time to create a sim with a greater destiny, designed by birth to reach the pinnacle of greatness. Yes, the sim world would be what all sims during their time as well as long after strive to be. They'd be a legend, showing everyone that reaching the pinnacle of success is possible. This would be a great sim, a miracle sim, a super sim.
The rules. You create one single adult age sim with no previous skills of any kind. Aging must be kept on. No cheats or exploiting known bugs for Sims gain. Mods or aesthetic custom content is fine. No cheating and extra skill boosting. Game provided boosts or purchase mood items are fine. Your sim must achieve the highest promotion in all careers. For branch careers, complete at least one branch. Max all skills. Complete all aspirations. Buy all reward traits. And that's it. That's all you gotta do.
No biggie.
The failure state, you fail the challenge if your sim dies before they finish the challenge. Simple instructions for such a long ass challenge.
Just do literally everything. It's so easy.
That's it.
Should only take you like a couple of, in-game days, I'm sure.
Okay, you did this also before university came in, right?
That's right. Yeah, I did not send my sim to university.
Interesting. How long would you say? So you have completed this challenge. We have not. Give us, I mean, how long did it take you? What were some of your strategies? Tell us a little bit about your gameplay.
It took me, I think, 6 months to finish the challenge. Yeah. I can't be 100% sure because I do post my sim story to Instagram, and so that I think added in some time just because I got off on the storytelling aspect of things, and so I wasn't just straight grinding away at challenge. I will say that did keep me accountable though, and I didn't feel like I could quit or start cheating, so that helped.
You can check out Kate's story on Instagram at TheSimsInspired to check out the story of her super sim. But if you could give us like a little overview of the life story, Kate, what's your super sim all about?
Well, I made the mistake of starting with my self sim. And I say it was a mistake because then I started posting it to Instagram and I felt very strange talking about myself in that third person. And then also, your super sim has to do literally everything the game provides. And so there's a lot of stuff I just would not, you are not getting me on a rocket, for example. I won't even get on an airplane. So, like, that's not happening. I would never be an astronaut. And there are a lot of things that, Sims do that I'm just not,
The
just not my
mischief.
thing.
The mischief thing.
Yeah, all of that was really tough. And then even, she at one point runs for office, and I'm, that's not me either. I have nothing to do with politics. So that it was interesting. I started her off in the writing career and then went into, I think, culinary from there. I got a lot of ideas watching James Turner, the Simplifies series on YouTube. That was kind of how I got started with the whole challenge in general. And as when you watch someone else play this game, for me, I always look at it and think, well, I could do that like way better. So
That's how I dyed my hair.
yeah,
I watched 3 videos and I went, oh, I could do that.
yeah. So I started to follow that, and I did try to knock out some of those aspirations toward the beginning, like the mischief and the what is it, Public Enemy, I think, where you have to see somebody die. I
Oh,
I did that, like, yeah, right, like very towards the beginning because I was like, I'm just gonna get that over with. That does not sound like fun to me at all.
Yikes.
Yeah, I did that with several of the aspirations. The party animal one, I've never liked throwing parties in the game at all. So just
Yeah, it sort of forces you to explore aspects of the game that you maybe wouldn't normally, would you say?
absolutely stuff I wouldn't touch otherwise, which is nice because you really do. The longer you play, you find yourself, you make the same Sims, you tell the same stories, you build the same families. And so it gave me a really good chance to see things that I never would have come across any other way.
there's so much in this game that we don't truly explore.
Yeah.
So this is such a good challenge for that.
Yeah, mine is a twist of fate happened that made which route my sim was going to take first. Because I was planning, you gave us tips because we're also, our Discord was doing this as a group also. So there's a little note in there, and you put in a bunch of tips into our Discord of what to do. And I was trying to follow them, but then my sim, while she was in college, Salim won the lottery. And since the aging has to be on, I was like, well, I need to marry him so I get his money and also I get to marry him.
Lock that guy down.
Pretty much. Which then one of the fortune ones, fabulously wealthy. If you marry a rich sim, you get it automatically. Done and done.
Done and done.
When you kill him, then you watch someone die. There we go.
I mean, of all the Sims to become the trophy wife of, like, Salim is a good pick. Like, lucky you for having him win the lottery.
Yeah, that's why I was like, well, damn it. Well, now I have to go. I changed up the plan because instead of doing all because you recommend doing all the kind of the bad stuff first and then working your way back up. My sim will be doing the home wife, the housewife, and working and because you have to have 3 kids total at least in this game. Have the kids, and one of the kids has to get married, so the kids have to age up. She's doing all that first, and then once Salim dies, she's going to go off she's going to have a good life after that. Just go move to that's my plan for her now.
And that's not an explicit challenge rule that one of your Sims children has to get married, but it's in one of the aspirations.
It's in one of the
aspirations. It's in, like, the family. Yeah.
Yeah. And you have to be friends with 3 of your own children. So You have to have 3.
So it's the kind of challenge that like we read it out and like, yeah, it's simple. Like the rules are simple, but there are so many complex.
But is it though?
Exactly. It's a fake out. It's like a yeah. So God, I didn't particularly. I don't want to say I didn't pay attention to the rules, but I went into this thinking like I have always wanted to just completely max out a sim and do it like within gameplay and, you know, not do it cheating, but like actually get all of these completed.
Yeah, my completionist heart loves crossing shit off. So this is helpful with this challenge.
Completely. So I definitely went in wanting to. I always have to create some kind of realism to like keep the story going for me. So has anybody seen the movie Age of Adeline or Adeline? I don't know how it's pronounced. It's Blake Lively.
You mean the movie that's just, hey, Blake Lively looks good in all costumes. Let's just put her in
Uh-huh.
all costumes.
Yeah. And like good job on them because she does and she is, and I can't be mad at that because I love her. She's like impossibly pretty. And it's worse that she seems like so nice too, right?
And her and Ryan Reynolds just keep popping out kids that we are
Good.
too old for, which is a bummer.
Put more beautiful humans into the world, Blake Lively. We thank you. So yeah, my background is sort of that, like she's had like kids a couple times along the lines, and technically she's got grandkids that she's close with, but they're, you know, the same age as some of her own children. So I'm not fully doing it 100 baby, but in trying to get the parenting skill up, I've just been having kids. And if I don't time it right, I might not be able to do like the have a kid, get married. Like I might not be in that aspiration, you know? Like, so I'm worried about like just having it all,
I learned,
you know, timed well.
One of the things that I did not like about Sims 4 coming from liking Sims 2, and Sims 2, you're stuck with you have to finish the aspiration challenge that you were given and you can't change it. Sims 4, you can just pop in and out of anything at any point. And embracing that of just, well, I'm going to move to the city for a little while, but I have to wait for the romance festival now. So I'm just going to go work on some of the nerd brain stuff and work on my programming for right now and do that until the romance festival. We're going to pop back into the city living aspiration and do that one. Embracing that part of Sims 4 made this challenge a lot easier.
Oh, for sure. For sure. I think that's super helpful. I think it's easier building the skills than it is like managing the careers.
Yeah.
Kate, do you have any advice on like just keeping that all organized?
Well, yeah. So I found I had to build a spreadsheet because that's the way my brain works. And I also like to check things off. I have a completionist heart as well. And so I found that was one of the easiest ways to make sure I was getting everything done. I also did go back and forth between the aspirations so that I could just keep making progress. And the skills are very easy to knock out, especially if you time your relationships and everything well, you can knock out a lot of things pretty early on and then focus more on career and aspirations a little bit later in the game. And that helped me.
Do you have that spreadsheet? I'd like to see it.
I was gonna say,
sure, I can share that with you. I will, if you want to I can make a copy that you can put like in the show notes or something.
That would be rad. That is the next thing I was gonna ask.
Yeah.
I'd like to see how you completed it and what it looks like to actually complete the challenge, because I'm not gonna do it.
Yeah, Melly, how was your experience in and around this challenge? Would you like to share your maybe your version of it?
Sure, but fair warning, if you are someone that's a stickler for rules, you're gonna hate me. Sorry. I renamed it to the anti-Super Sim challenge because this is basically what it is. It's a 10-minute challenge, so it won't take you that long to finish it.
Uh-huh.
Basically, you load up your game, you go into your MC settings, and then you set your skills to 10, and then your computer will lag for a full ass 10 minutes with all of like the little skill things popping up. And then once it's done, you go back into it, and then you max all your careers to 10 again. And then again, lag for like 5 minutes, and then you're done.
Wow.
That's fantastic. It's like Syndrome from The Incredibles. It's like when everyone's super,
Yeah.
no one is. So MCCC required for
Yes.
this challenge. Very interesting.
I mean, I think you can do it without cheats, but you'd have to like manually go one by one into the um, CTR
Mhm.
shift alt menu,
I get
input them,
that.
and that's just
Yeah.
too much fucking typing.
And I think Roxy's doing a version of this, preening the child from. She's removing the rule of create one single young adult sim with no previous skills. She removed that, so she, from birth, she is making this child a super sim.
I like that idea too, because you can have different like interactive options when you're a child than when you're an adult. So you can kind of build the skills in a different way. So you're not in the monotony of like the same animation over and over again.
Right now, where I'm at in mine, because I was just willy nilly picking rewards to purchase, I think I accidentally purchased the fertility one. So
Ooh.
in attempting to get 3 children, she had 2 twin boys, and I was like, oh, thank God, I only need to have one more. So I was like, let's just knock this out of the way.
That is so
Then she
funny.
had two more twin boys. So there's 4 boys, and guess what? Her parenting skill maxed out.
Amazing.
If you have 4 babies, yes, it'll max it out.
Sure thing. That's so funny. Mine had twins also, but not 2 sets of twins. Just the one.
That gives me triggering to my 100 baby challenge.
So yeah, Caitlin, do you want to go through just like where you're at with yours right now? Tell us a little bit about your
Sure.
super sim and progress and stuff you've struggled with so far.
Sure. Her name is Noelle. That's what I dubbed her. I had her start with the academic career thing, so she could go to college, and while taking, I think I had her do a lit and language degree. And while she was taking those classes, also taking one-off classes to build other skills as like a way to get that going. And I also had her do the freelance career while doing that in hopes of money. That took forever. Really, in all things, the university puts a big time limit in a game because it takes up their entire young adult life.
Right. If you
And
do
so
all the
she
classes at once, right?
Yeah, which I did.
Okay.
I just wanted it. I was trying to do, at first, I was trying to do like one at a time before I realized that's not possible or helpful,
Okay.
and it'll take forever.
Can you
Got it.
freelance while you're in university?
Yeah, it's hard though.
Sure.
But you can freelance.
Especially if you've got 2 sets of twins, 4 children.
I moved her to San Myshuno eventually for the city native aspiration,
Mhm.
and then eyes on Salim because he won the lotto. And I got her bees so she could have something to keep her aspiration points coming. So she'd always want to bond with the bees. So she'd always get like aspiration, like something for her to interact with that she wanted to do. So aspiration points could keep coming in.
Those like low-hanging fruit whims that are something the sim wants to do but aren't like super annoying and difficult and will get you off track.
This also, if besides doing careers or aspirations you never want to do, whims, if you don't like whims and holidays or you haven't fully embraced them, you kind of need to for this in order to get those aspiration points coming to buy all the things.
Okay.
Just anything, low-hanging fruit, anything. Just appease the gnomes, make the feast, tell everybody you love them.
Yeah.
Fight the guy on the street.
Ugh. Brawl Day.
Holiday.
I do the holidays. I can't do Brawl Day. I just can't.
Yeah, I don't normally, unless it's like a mean-natured sim.
Okay.
I've done that before. What else happened? Waiting for protesters was annoying, but then I found out that they have a schedule via online.
They do?
So then yeah, like they're at certain places at certain times.
That's
I didn't
news
know
to me
this.
too. I had my Sim's husband start a protest, so she.
Yeah, there you go. That's so funny. Yeah, I didn't even know that. We should make a graphic of that. That should be our next infographic that we put out in the world. The schedule
The
for Sims protesters. I love that.
The Romance Festival really helps with the soulmate aspiration if you got one. So, and also the romance, you need to go to the Romance Festival to finish up the City Native thing for San Gino. So, two birds, one stone.
There you go. Yeah.
One of Kate's tips was to not buy the Never Weary achievement until later, and I broke that tip. I did not do it because she had 2 sets of twins and she wasn't getting sleep. So she needed it.
So what are the aspirations that like you actually do need sleep?
Yeah, that was because you say that some need it, and I don't know which ones those were.
So the two that I know of are for the one that comes with outdoor retreat. I don't remember what that one's called. You have to sleep in a tent for so many nights. And then for beach life, which I started the challenge before Island Living came out, and then she already had that Seldom Sleepy or Never Weary, whichever one that was. And so she couldn't fall asleep in the beach chair.
Oh.
And it took me until she became a vampire and then had a new energy bar, because that reward trait doesn't impact your vampire energy level. That was how I managed to get around to that one.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that makes sense. So there's sort of these like pitfalls that you can it's not as simple as, are you saying because of pitfalls, because of pitfall seeds?
Yeah.
Okay. Another cross game conversation. We've had many. But it's sort of like, it's as simple as just going through every single one and knocking them out. There's strategy to it for sure.
Right. And that's part of how I found the spreadsheet to be helpful as well, because there are some aspirations where you need a specific career. For example, the master mixologist aspiration, you have to be in the mixology branch of the culinary career. And a lot of people go immediately to the chef side of that and then realize later, oh no, I can't finish my challenge because I picked the wrong branch of the career. But the mixology branch actually counts for the master chef aspiration as well. So you don't have to do both branches of that career.
Right. And it's difficult to do 2 branches of a career, right?
That's right. Yeah, you need to use MC command, whatever that's called, MCC squared, tripled, whatever. There's a cheat in there that you can use to reset your career branch.
Because I think James Turner had asked that question, and somebody had to answer like, not without mods, but with MC Command Center. You can click the sim, hit MC cheats, career cheats, and reset the career branch. So that is the only way to do it. Somebody said that you can like cheat the game and demote yourself and then promote yourself, but it'll promote you in the same branch. So that's not correct.
Interesting.
During all of that, the only career track she got the top of was the detective career because it took forever. I also switched her to that to help with our other challenge. So it's also, she was in the law career and then I switched her to detective. So part of that is my fault, but I'm going to blame how long the detective career track takes.
I can't even remember. I think I've been grinding on the cooking for so long. I can't. I know she's completed a career track. Maybe it was writing that I knocked out first. Oh, and I've got a 5 in pet training. Woohoo!
Nice.
Sure, that'll help. I
'Cause
mean,
I
it
have
all helps, but
She has completed the Fabulously Wealthy and academic aspirations. She's become top in the career detective. She has skills topped charisma, cooking, dancing, painting, and writing. She's fun.
she sounds like a fun gal. Do you think it's strategically a better idea to go by pack, or is there maybe a way that a player could take your spreadsheet, for example, and find the skills that all sort of go together and just tackle those at the same time? I'm trying to think of an example that will express what I'm trying to say
I
here.
would say not using my spreadsheet. I'm not quite that organized. That would be really helpful, though, to have the list of the skills you need for each career. I feel like someone out there, probably Carl, has already
Right.
done something like that. Um, and you're absolutely right. I think that would be the best way to go about doing that.
Probably.
I was not quite that organized, but every time I think about this challenge, I think, okay, I did this over. And sometimes I'm tempted, and then I remember how long it took, and I think, well,
Right.
we'll take a minute and think about that tomorrow.
Yeah, truly. I mean, I can imagine. I'm not even done with it, and I'm like rethinking, okay, if I had gone after all of the like public performance type skills at once, like if I went violin and singing and piano and guitar and acting, all, like anything that's like public facing, maybe throw comedy in there too, like is that worth it, or is it more effective to like work on one and then keep circling back around to each one? I am just talking this through and I'm rambling at this point.
And some it might be useful to think about what you have at your disposal. Like one of the benefits of the detective career track was there was uh, uh, the analyze machine upped your logic. There was also a chess set in the
Mm-hmm.
thing in the precinct, and there was a workout room. And sometimes you had to work out for an hour a day as one of your tasks for the day. Or sometimes you did all the tasks for your day and you still had 3 hours left of your day because you were just awesome that day. So you could spend the rest of those 3 hours boosting up your logic skill or working out because those are available to you and you could just use that time. So some of it's like what's still, and like if you were to the science career, there's plants you can interact with or things you can go gather or fishing.
Right. I think those like interactive get to work careers probably let you be a little bit more that you're actively building skills. I don't know that there are that many opportunities to do that with the black hole rabbit hole careers. I don't know, Kate, would you say that that had a difference or an impact on your gameplay?
I think you're absolutely right about that. It's a challenge where you really do need to work smarter, not harder. And so thinking about any opportunity you have, so working from home in those careers that let you work from home, then you can do a lot during
Right.
your day instead of sending your sim to a rabbit hole and you're just losing that time. That definitely helps a
Right.
lot. And then something you said earlier about the acting career, as I recall, that requires a lot of random skills. Um, and so
Yes.
it sometimes it's not always as straightforward as it seems like it would be. I tried to do my careers in an order that made sense to me as an adult human living in the world, thinking about if I were going to change jobs, would I go from being an actor to a scientist? No. So I would go like scientist to doctor. But it didn't mean that that helped me necessarily get through them any
Right.
quicker. Although I will say towards the end, you have already maxed out all of your skills, and so
He
you're
actually might be
really
good for an end game one.
yeah, you're really just you you know biding your time kind of.
So you, Kate, when you played, you used the aging on, and would you just keep buying the, like, what's the formula potion that's like extend your life?
Yep, Potion of Youth. I I did, and I didn't find towards the end that I was having to do anything crazy to mine for aspiration points. Crazy, as if completing those whims is so crazy. But, I wasn't hurting for points at any point. I even considered turning aging off because I felt, this is kind of silly at this point. But I turned it into a plot point for my story, so it worked. But I know other people who've played the game will just turn aging off because you really do end up with plenty of aspiration points. It's not as much of a struggle.
Right.
Yeah.
Finding a narrative seems to also help weirdly with this. Oh, the challenge that is kind of about crossing stuff off of a list at the end of the day. Finding a narrative for your sim to follow kind of helps
For sure.
this as well.
Otherwise, it's just this like meaningless grind. Like, that makes a lot of sense to me.
That's the part where I struggle with, which is why I don't complete challenges. I can't find like a storyline for it. So it's just me grinding and then me getting bored and exhausted of the same old, same old. So they never get finished.
Was there any like drama, or I mean, we'll give another shout out to TheSimsInspired for you to check out Kate's entire story. But Kate, was there a moment, like a particularly juicy or fun or silly moment, like in your narrative that you created that is one of your favorites or that kept you going in this grind?
Well, I don't think anyone who's read my story could forget when my Sim's husband ends up pregnant by an alien. Not once, but twice.
And I think I remember seeing that.
Oh my god.
Right. It's the unfortunate side effect of playing that scientist career. We had an alien invasion. One of her sons got married or had a baby with an alien at one point, a female alien living in the world. And then, yeah, Alden got abducted twice and pregnant twice. One after a point in the story when they decided they were very much done having children because their first 3 children had already aged up and passed away from old age. And so they were not going to have any more kids, and he got abducted and pregnant. And so I real quick made Kate pregnant too, because I was like, no, we are not going to have them aging at unequal rates because that's just too much for my brain. But yeah, I would say that was probably a highlight.
Wow. Did you keep her significant other at the same age with her?
Yes.
That's
Oh,
cute.
that's nice.
Yeah, just a big old softy at heart. The idea of finding a forever husband just sounded so wonderful. I couldn't pass up.
I love it.
Oh, mine's gonna be like she's gonna love Salim while he's here, but then when he's gone, that's when things will turn.
Like Harrison Ford in that Blake Lively movie.
She's gonna be real good until he's dead, and then she's gonna go real bad because I don't want her to ruin their life that they have.
Mm.
But Melissa, what's happening? Where's your sim at? Like what's the story that they've been telling?
So I named her Eve Masters, sort of like Eve as in Adam and Eve, not to get like biblical, but I like the name meaning, like, first and original, and masters, like she masters all of her skills. To start, I made her very much like Blake Lively from Age of Adeline, but as I mentioned, I since moved her to Sulani, and she's got this tan, and blonde looks so stupid, so I made her a brunette. She's had twin boys with Jay Huntington III.
Ooh.
And that, I just had her Simology up. One of her sons by Jay Huntington, they've both aged into old age and passed away. So she's got a living granddaughter and a son. I'm trying to remember. Oh, the son was with Dominic Fires. So that's a little saucy. But she's doing okay. She went writing and culinary to start. I think just because naturally, like, what's the skill? The skill you can build most naturally is cooking, I feel, because Sims got to eat. You can pretty easily make that skill go up quickly if you commit to like making all your own food. So she's pretty good there. She's in the culinary skill. I think I've already gotten the writing. I'm sorry, the culinary career. I think I've already maxed the writing career. But I'm scrolling through the skill list and there's just like odds and ends here. I've gotten veterinarian up pretty high just because I always have animals in my gameplay, and having her like be an at-home vet is kind of nice, so I don't have to like always warp to the vet to help the animals. I don't know. It's tough because I am super completionist to the point where like if I can't, I don't, I get turned off. Like the fact that I've got this high mixology skill, but I went the culinary path. Like I know it counts, but for me, it's like, but should I go back and do that? But it's silly to do that. I feel like at this point.
But now you know how if you want to.
It's true. That's true. It can be done. But yeah, she kind of relocated to Sulani, and I think I've gone off of the movie in that because she lives forever, she kind of keeps it low key. Like she can never like really find love, I feel like, until the end because she can't be with that person until she's able to grow old with someone. So I think I had in my mind to save the romance for the end, but who knows if I'll update that strategy based on just optimizing all of the many different skills that I got to knock out. It's a lot. It's I don't want to say stressful, but it's just like I'm already playing, the game where you have to unlock all of the house levels and all of the collect the best Animal Crossing furniture. So this is just like that in a different way.
And some of these aspirations I haven't even touched on because, like, I wasn't going to have her try to do the outdoor enthusiast thing because you have to go. I was like, I'm going to wait till she has kids and they're kids, at least, to take the family on a vacation. Or because of how quickly somebody showed up that I wanted her to marry, I was like, well, this kind of changes the order I wanted to do things. But I can finally start doing that outdoor enthusiast because now
Yeah.
all the kids are kids.
Oh, no, I was just going to say, I think you have to give yourself enough leeway to play the game as it unfolds, too. If you get too fixated on, let me check off my list, you will just burn yourself out. So, let things unfold, and you never know what will happen. I mean, that's kind of the fun of The Sims. There's some of these random whimsical things that happen, and you're like, what is going on? Who designed this way? But, that's that's the charm of it too.
Oh, also, one of the sets of twins was a magic caster because she's getting her magic up. And that kid rolled evil as his first trait, so we just created like a supervillain on accident, like the youngest kid of 4,
Ooh.
evil trait magic. So my bad. My bad, Sim Universe.
I mean, as an older sibling, I would say that checks out. So
As a youngest sibling, yeah, it does.
The younger twin, no less.
Yeah, the younger twin.
Oh, I have a question, Kate. So I hadn't really been playing like changing aspirations as I go. I was just gonna kind of go through all of them. Are there specific um aspirations you feel like can happen in tandem if you like are masterful enough in switching back and forth?
definitely the family ones, you can go back and forth, and
Yeah.
those complete each other in terms of the starter level is like become an adult, spend 1,000 simoleons on kid stuff, and
Mm-hmm.
that gets checked off across all the aspirations. Um, the there are some that don't, and they will just drive you nuts.
The two love aspirations start the same, so you can kind of get them at the same time, but then they branch
Right.
off after that.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And then I will say, when I played this, I did not have all these rules that you mentioned. It was pretty much just a don't cheat and don't edit a lot that you're on. Like if you go to a community lot, don't edit that to your benefit. So don't add in a shower where there's not a shower, or a bed in
Right.
the restaurant or whatever. We don't sleep in the well, some of us sleep in the library, but we don't we don't have a bed to sleep in the library. So that kind of thing. Um, so yeah, definitely flipping back and forth between the aspirations helps, and taking advantage of the bugs in the game. For that party aspiration, you can throw a party, get your guests there, cancel it, and throw another one, and that counts as an entire party, even though they're only there for like 2 seconds. I would just invite everybody over, lock the doors, cancel the party, throw a new one with the same guests to get through that one level of, throw 20 parties or whatever stupid number they
Nice.
thought. Yeah.
Also, I thought somewhere on here, I thought there was a rule that you had to play on normal lifespan and not long lifespan. I don't know
True.
why,
Yeah.
but also you could just play this on long lifespan.
Yeah.
The kids would take forever to grow up, but seeing as some of them need to have their conflict traits up at a certain level, it could be
Is
easier.
there a spot to hover over in game that shows you how many sim years you've done, or how many sim weeks, I guess, you've played?
Not that I know of. I used MCCC to find how old my sim was at the end, and unfortunately, I don't remember now because that would be a fun little fact. But if you do like the vampire ones later, it tells you how many days your sim's been alive.
Okay, yeah. Oh, and I think you can do it in. Oh, maybe not.
Becky says go to university. She says I added the degrees to my complete list. God, holy shit. And it helped
Oh.
massively. But in the end, by the
Wow.
end, I'd maxed out pretty much every skill and didn't have to complete the first few levels of every career.
For sure.
That's what I found was to pick a degree and do the careers linked to it, then pick another degree and so on. Holy crap. Every single one. God damn.
I will say that Becky is like dedicated to her challenges though.
Yeah.
So I can see her doing this.
If you get the connections reward trait, I think it is, it accomplishes the same thing. You start at level 3 or something of the career instead, or maybe it's one of the club perks.
Yeah.
So definitely, if you are struggling to get skills done, or if you just really want to play university a lot, then that's one way to do it. But also that reward trait will help you.
I feel like that's a separate challenge. That's like a challenge in the challenge. Do all
For
of
sure.
the degrees. Holy crap. It takes so long.
And then all of those career things stack up. So if you
Nice.
get the entrepreneurial and connections reward traits, then add on the club perk, networked club. And then as a celebrity, you add on career hopper and I think easy street. Those I thought that they stacked. I felt like my sim could get a promotion pretty much every day.
That's great.
When those were.
Holy crap.
Yeah.
I need to
Yeah.
do that then. Because that's the careers have really been the part that takes forever. So maybe I need to do another degree or get all those perks.
Yeah. I started mine before university came out. Kate, would you dive back into your existing one, do you think, and play through all of the degrees and the new stuff that's come out since?
I absolutely am looking forward to doing that. That was kind of the way I ended my Sims story, because we knew university was coming. I hadn't gotten it yet, but I'd finished everything else. And I thought, I can't drag out a story just for the sake of this. I want to move on. But I left it so my Sims daughters, the youngest two, the ones that she only had because of the alien abduction, they made a vow they were going to go back and finish everything their mom didn't. So that's kind of my plan, is that we're gonna pick up with them in university and see what happens. But I don't know if I'll end up posting that story or if I'll just play through it in my spare time or not. But we'll see.
I love that. I love that. It's like we'll follow in Mom's footsteps in learning everything that we possibly can.
But with a teacher.
Sure.
And pay them money.
So regular life.
Yeah.
If you're paying lots and lots of real life simoleons. Yes, real life. So, other famous players of this challenge, we mentioned James Turner, Sim Supply, has done this one. Lithiark, who has a whole website dedicated to how she did her challenge, includes when everything was achieved and pictures to go along with the story, such as the houses that they lived in and the Sims that they played alongside. So check that out. Lithiarch, Lithiarch.
The dedication is real. Couldn't be me, sis. Couldn't be me.
But since we are not done, we'll probably be doing another episode of us like we did it. It's done. We finished. But who knows? Another pack will have come out by then, so we probably will have more stuff added on to do
You will never truly be finished.
until The Sims 5 comes out.
And then we start all over.
Any final tips on Super Sim, Kate?
I can't think of anything we haven't already covered. I would say, just have fun with it.
That's good advice. That's, I mean, coming from the master, that is very much appreciated. So, shall we move on to our what just happened?
This what just happened is from one of our Simpsons, Mind Putty. Oh boy. I was going to share this what just happened earlier, but I'm glad it didn't because it got better. I started a new story in The Sims. I made Valentina and her husband Jack. Jack is a vampire. The story plan was Valentina fell in love with Jack and they wanted to be together forever. So Jack turned Valentina into a vampire. Eventually, I was going to have a human townie kill Jack, sending Valentina on a grief-filled murder spree in an effort to get revenge for her beloved Jack. Well, while I was setting the story up, Valentina's thirst got very low. She was running low on vampire energy as well, so I sent her home to eat some plasma fruit. Well, her thirst got too low and she spotted a nice juicy human neck that she just had to run out into the sun to drink from. Needless to say, she died of sun exposure.
Womp womp.
Jack was unsuccessful in pleading with the Grim Reaper to save her. Jack brought her urine into the house, and I decided the story would have to take a turn, and instead Jack would go on a quest to cook ambrosia and bring his beloved Valentina back to life. I sent him to Solani, where one of my previous families had a death flower bush. He waited for the death flowers to bloom and harvested a few. Awesome. Making good progress. Then I sent him to fish for a bit to try to get an angelfish. Well, Sulani is very sunny and I am stupid.
No.
Jack burned to death in the sun as well. Luckily, I had a third sim in the household who I had added as a blood bag. They have trapped in their basement, so the game is not done yet. We shall see what more woe befalls the
Arachnida?
Arachkin.
Arachnida?
It's a good name. I
It's,
hate it.
yeah,
Spider.
Beautiful, but I don't know how to say it. Our Arachnida family.
It's definitely a spider
Yeah.
reference. I get it and I appreciate it.
Yeah.
But
Oh my gosh.
That
I
sucks.
am not good with vampires, so I fully relate to this. Sulani is very sunny and I am stupid.
that's a mood. That's a mood we've all been in. And been like, oh yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is my fault. I see it.
I've
see
made
it
a
now.
crucial error. Thank you so much, Mind Putty, and thanks for being one of our Simsons. Oh my gosh. I don't know what to shout out for coming up soon. Let me just take a look real quick.
Something's coming. You better sit there and wait for it.
Cowplant's gonna say some stuff. We're gonna say some stuff. Social Bunny's gonna say some stuff. Maybe not in that order. Who knows?
Yeah, probably not. I mean, look, time is completely irrelevant these days, and it doesn't matter, and nothing matters, and we're all doomed at some point.
The Jeremy Bearimy of life right now.
Yes, Jeremy Bearimy, baby.
You can find us pretty much anywhere. We are Plum Bob Cast on Instagram and Twitter. We are Plum Bob Podcast on Reddit. We are Under the Plum Bob Podcast on Facebook and Tumblr. Our website is undertheplumbob.com. We have a contact form, or you can just email us at undertheplumbob.podcast@gmail.com. Subscribe, rate, and review Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, TuneIn, Spotify, Google Play. Just any review makes us happy, so please just let us know.
Thank you so much to everyone who did research for this episode. I know Melly and Caitlin and I contributed, as did Rebecca. Kate was a major part of the background for this episode. So Kate, thank you so much for joining us today. Where can we find you on the internets?
Well, we've already mentioned I am TheSimsInspired on Instagram. You can also find me on Tumblr, and my gallery username, if you want to check out any of my builds, is also TheSimsInspired. Thank you so much for having me. It was so fun.
We loved you.
We'll have you back for like a part 2 of this, because we're gonna get there eventually. And we'd love to have you back for like a build episode.
That would be
in the future.
Fun. I love that.
Thank you, as always, to our wonderful Sims fan sites who provide a lot of, our background knowledge. Carl, of course, who we always give love to. Sims VIP, Sims Community, Sims Wiki, Simmers Digest, Iron Seagull, Lil Simsy, Lithiarch's site dedicated to her Super Sim Challenge. Thank you so much. And thank you for listening. Gosh, we're signing off again in quarantine, so there's not much of a real world to go back to. Kate, any real world or quarantine activities you're looking forward to today?
Well, so you mentioned earlier that the 100 Baby Challenge exists, and I've remembered that I said I was going to do that this year, so I should probably go back and spend some time on that.
Oh my God, what a quarantine challenge. Like a true challenge.
To be honest, I'm like, I've got 20 babies, and now I'm
20,
just cranking them out.
After the first 10, I feel like you're like, okay, I'm no longer attached to you kids. Get out. I don't get out.
Yeah. Yep, pop them out the door. You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here. Get them out of there. Cool. All right, ladies. Well, it's time to go back to the real scary world. Stay safe, wash your hands, be kind to one another, and thanks for listening. Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Barish. Dag dag.